Why don't you want to get married? Because I've dated married people and none of them seem happy.
That's actually me. I'm joking. I've never dated a married person, but I don't want to get married because this is a weird one. I don't have enough positive examples of marriage in my life.
Understandable.
To be sold in this marriage thing.
Understandable.
I really don't.
Yeah, and you can only go from like the things that are close to you, so it makes sense.
I was actually listening to a podcast about a divorce lawyer the other day.
Okay.
The world's most famous or best or whatever divorce lawyer, and it actually kind of like opened my eyes to what like a prenup actually is, and it's just all it is it's just an agreement. So I think most people go in there when they're like, oh, would you sign a prenup? And people are like, nah, I'm never signing a prenup. Obviously, typically the girls would say that, but not always the case. But when people go in and be like, oh, I'm not signing a prenup, and the typical kind of back and forth is, well, if you wouldn't sign if you want, like, a lot of times the person who's being asked to sign a prenup would be like, well, if you're asking me to sign a prenup, why you're making it seem like we're going to fail? And why would you want to marry me if you're already thinking about our divorce? And I hate that argument, period. But I think a lot of people think a prenup just means you're signing away anything. It means that once I sign this piece of paper, I'm getting nothing and you're going to leave me high and dry. However, apparently, a prenup is just an agreement. So it's just like, we're not leave. If we get divorced without a prenup, the judge is just going to be like half over here, half over here, because I simply can't be bothered to deal with this. All your assets, and they break it down to assets. So when you don't have a prenup, they literally break it down to what everything you man own has they'll value it. So literally, if me and you are married right now and we got divorced, they will go through this entire studio and be like, that plant is worth a tenner, that plant is da-da-da-da-da-da. And they would literally split it out so the assets are even, and then you'd bicker over, but I want that plant. And that's like, divorces can take years when you don't have a prenup. Years and years and years of bickering because people want the exact split evenly of like what an asset is. And then one lawyer might be like, that's worth 500K. The other lawyer might be like, it's worth 10K. And then they go back and forth and argue about that. And it's a whole bullshit thing. Whereas you can just split it and sign a prenup and be like, we both agree in this prenup, if we were to get divorced, you'll get this and I'll get this, and we're not talking about it again. And then you can actually just like crack on with your marriage.
Fair enough. I
just feel like marriage is just like a shitty parlay bet, bruv. Like, it's just like, it's literally, I bet we are probably going to stay together. If not, I lose everything. The only win is that, okay, we